In today's episode, moving sucks. And welcome to my new studio. And 4 words. I'm proud of you. This is Todd's Pod. Welcome to the show. Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 3 of Todd's Pod. I am your host, Todd Napper, and I am with Todd Napper Voiceovers. Thank y'all so much for stopping by and listening to the show. I just wanted to kind of pop on here for a few minutes and talk about a few things. One is welcome to my new studio. I have it set up, finally, and I'm finally able to start doing some recordings again and not have to record out of my truck. But, which I only did that once, and I'm not saying that won't happen again in the future. I'm sure it will, as soon as I start deciding what I want to post and all of that kind of stuff, and when I want to post it. But thank y'all so much for being here, and I just want to talk about what has been going on in my life for the last couple of months since my last episode. During that episode, since the last episode, we have moved. We are now living in we're living in a 4-bedroom house, and we have moved on from the duplex, and it's pretty awesome how it all came about. A couple months ago, about a month and a half ago, I guess, we were kind of looking around for someplace bigger than where we were staying. We were staying in a duplex, and it had a really small yard in the back. And as a lot of y'all know, I have a 1.5-year-old son, and he's maybe a little bit older than a year and a half. Good grief. Time is flying by. It needs to slow down. But anyway, so I have a son, and he loves being outdoors. He loves playing outside, and he loves being in the grass, and just it's something that I really am happy about, because I want to raise my son, wanting to be outdoors, wanting to enjoy the outside. I want to be able to take him camping and all that kind of stuff, But anyway, so he loves being outdoors. Well, the problem with that is that I also have a dog. And dogs, as you well know, like to do their business outside. So the combination of a tiny yard and a kid who wants to play in the grass and a dog who does his business in the grass was not a good combination. So there were plenty of times we had to, run over to, stop a mess. Let's put it that way. And so even if we, cleaned up after the dog, it still was just the yard was just so small that it was just too small for us. And so I started looking for something new. I started looking for someplace bigger, a larger place, someplace with a bigger yard. And everywhere that we had looked, there were a lot of nice places that were around, but it wasn't exactly what we were looking for, someplace with a big yard, but the house wasn't big enough, or the house is big enough, and they still wanted too much money, especially in today's market. The housing market and renters market, as most of y'all know, is absolutely insane. So, people were getting way above asking price are still getting way above asking price for, renting houses and buying houses. So, it was hard for us to try to find a place. And so one day, it just so happened, it kind of popped into my head that, hey, why don't I email the property management company for the duplex and see if they have anything. And so I sent him an email, and he said, well, all we have is this one bedroom, 4-bedroom house, if you want to take a look at it, you can. I said, oh, well, okay. That's kind of at the top of what we're looking for, kind of at the top of the price range that we're looking for, so let's go. I'll go take a look. So I went and took a look, and immediately just fell in love with the place. Like I said, it is a 4-bedroom house, so it has plenty of space for us to grow. It has a place for us to have a little playroom for David. If it's cold and rainy outside, he can go play in this little playroom. And then it has a 2-car garage and also a storage building outside. And some places I was looking for is, not only do I do voiceovers, but I'm also a welder as well. And so I was wanting a place to where I could do some welding on the side, get some side gigs, bring in some extra money. And this place has that, and it just checked off all of our bucket, checked off our bucket list of everything that we were looking for in a house. And so I was like, well, yeah, it's perfect, So how much money do you need from us to be able to rent this house? Because most places not most places, every place that we've looked at, wanted first month's rent. They wanted a deposit and also a pet deposit since we had the dog. And so it was going to be quite a bit of money out of pocket for us to be able to find a new place. And so that was one of my concerns about this place is, okay, so we like it. So how much money, how much are we going to have to pay to be able to move from the duplex to this house? And I said, okay, well, only thing you'll have to pay is the difference between the rent and the monthly rent and the duplex and the house for this month. Well, that floored us. So, like, what? Okay. So that just saved us a ton of money right there. And then a couple of days later, as we're moving in, I got to talking to one of the neighbors. And he asked me, he said, hey, man, what's it look like in there? And I said, well, I mean, it looks good to me. It looks fine. He said, man, they've been working on this place for 2 months trying to get it ready to rent. And so even the timing in that was just spot on perfect. And so I'm not someone who I'll be open and honest with you here. I struggle with the fact of, of God things. I do try to live right. I try to be a Christian. I try to do all those things, but it's a struggle for me to truly believe that God is looking out for me and, has my best interests in mind and, all those kind of things, and so, but at the same time, I also don't believe in coincidences. So I do believe that I put my full faith in believing that God worked all of these things out that just dropped the name into my head, me sending the email at the time that I did, the place coming available at the time that it did, and all of these different things just coming together at the right time for us to be able to have this house. And oh my goodness, the yard. Holy cow, the yard. It's huge. This yard is so big. I love it. It's amazing. And I know if you're friends with me on Facebook, I posted pictures of the yard and everything. And it's absolutely incredible. Plenty of room for the dog to do his business and my son to be able to run around and play as well. So, and not have to look out for the landmines. Which, I mean, well, obviously we still have to look out for the landmines, but, not every 2 inches walking around the yard. So that's where this has been. The moving process sucks, as everybody. And does anybody out there actually enjoy moving? Seriously, if you do, I'm going to call you next time that I move, which hopefully won't be for a while. But the next time that I move, I'm going to call you to help me come move because I hate moving. The packing, the moving itself, the moving the furniture, the unpacking. We still have boxes, out the wazoo from stuff that we haven't been able to get to yet. And it's just reorganizing everything, trying to figure out where everything is going to go. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't posted anything lately. So I apologize for that. And hopefully now that we're kind of starting to settle down a little more, we're figuring some things out. Maybe I'll be able to actually post some more content. So thank you all so much for bearing with me on that. And I do appreciate everyone who follows me and listens to the show. I thank you so much for being a part of my life and being a part of my little hobby and my little fun that I get to do. I don't do this just for the fun, which, I mean, it is fun. I don't do it just for the fun. I want to post content that's helpful to people, that is interesting for people. I do it to, kind of promote my voiceover stuff a little bit. Every now and then you may hear me
Do some goofy voices, just every now and then I might just throw something out there.
Okay, that was weird. But anyway, so sorry. That was just weird. But thank y'all so much for following me. I do also want to also talk a little bit about something that I've been thinking about. If you're watching the video, I'm streaming a video and recording on my computer as well. But if you're watching the video, you might be able to see that I'm wearing a black cowboy hat with a Navy emblem, like Navy SEAL, on the brim. The reason for that is I bought this hat in honor of my grandpa and my pawpaw, as I called him. And I bought this hat because he was actually in the Navy. And so I wanted to represent him and I wanted something to honor him. And I saw this hat and I just immediately, I had to have it. So I bought this hat and I now am going to be wearing it in honor of him. And the reason that this is kind of so, it means so much to me is we're actually coming up on the anniversary of his passing. And so I've been thinking about him a lot and thinking about just things that he's told me in the past and things that he said to me in the past. And one of the things that I have heard him say, and I wish that I could hear from him again, was, "I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you." That phrase means so much to can mean so much to somebody. And it's sometimes hard for people to say, and it's also hard for people to take, because so many times, I know for me, in my personal experience, I don't feel like I measure up. And I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm doing anything to be proud of, you know? Every day in my life, it's a struggle for me to even feel like I've done anything that anyone should be proud of, you know? I question whether or not I measure up to people's standards, even my own standards. Sometimes we place standards on ourselves that people don't even place on us. People don't place on us, but we place it on ourselves. You know, so do we measure up? Why should someone be proud of me as a husband? Why should someone be proud of me as a father, as a provider, as a human being in general? Why should anyone be proud of me? So those four words are difficult words. Like I said, difficult to say. Some people, it's hard for us to look at someone and say, "I'm proud of you." It's hard for someone to look at their child and say, "I'm proud of you," or a friend or anyone. It's hard for them to say, "I'm proud of you." And then on top of that, it's hard for people to hear it and hear people say, "I'm proud of you," and just and really believe that they meant it. But that was something that he would say to me, and it was hard for me to take. But at the same time, it's something that I needed to hear, to know that it doesn't matter how we may look at ourselves and how we may feel about ourselves, but it's some words that know that someone that we care about, someone that we know is proud of us, and someone that we look up to is proud of us. And it doesn't matter how we may feel about ourselves. We may be at our lowest point, but knowing that someone is proud of us is so, so important. And so I want to look at you today. I want to look at everyone watching this video. I want to look at everyone who is listening and I want to say into the ears of everyone listening to this podcast that I'm proud of you. To the one who's working so hard, sometimes working 2 and 3 jobs just to try to make ends meet, I'm proud of you. To the one who doesn't feel like they're up to snuff, as they say, as the old timers used to say, you know, those who don't feel like they're up to snuff, I'm proud of you. To the single mom trying her best to raise their children, to the single dad doing his best trying to provide a life for his children, I'm proud of you. To those who are going to school, trying to better themselves, to get a better job, to get a better life, I'm proud of you. To all of those who wake up each day battling depression, battling those things that go through your mind that make it hard for you just to get out of bed. I'm proud of you. To those